Hey, this is Tiqqle, and in this video, we're going over the patch notes that are coming up. They're not really patch notes, actually. They're just PvP tweaks. I'll go ahead and have the link down below. This is coming out August 22nd, so you might have seen this video on August 22nd or after. But these are the latest changes to Enhance and Ellie that we're going to be talking about, as well as some other classes which impact Shamans and how well they're doing in Solo Shuffle and 3v3. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Again, linked for these patch notes or these updates will be down below. A few things overall. There are some overall class changes, and then it goes into the PvP-specific class changes. As usual, a lot of those overall class changes could impact PvP, and we'll see how that defines the meta. Like, for example, Assassination Rogue's all ability damage is being increased by 5%, all auto attacks by 5%. That's going to impact PvP. But let's go ahead and focus on the Shaman pieces. For overall, the whole class, non-PvP changes, there's nothing for Shaman. But for PvP, there are. And so the first things first, Elemental Shaman. This section has to talk about those changes. Number one, lava burst damage is increased by 12% in PvP combat. I'm guessing this is relative to where it is now, whatever scaling is in place. So that's going to be hopefully an increased damage to lava burst. There's also lightning bolt damage is getting increased by 45%, was 31%. So this is going to hopefully make it so we actually take our 2-set. Most Elemental Shamans are not taking tier sets, or they're taking just a 2-set to get that bonus, but it's just not that amazing, even though there was a lot of hype at the beginning of this patch, especially about the tier set and getting Stormkeeper charges, but it just hasn't really proven to be that amazing. I think it maybe has to do with some of the crit damage changes that have happened this season, but overall, it's going to at least make Lightning Bolt worth casting when you get that charge. Otherwise, Volcanic Surge, which was a new talent, relatively new PvP talent, which makes your Lava Surge not make Lava Burst instant cast, is now increases the damage of Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning by 35%, was 25%, and Lava Burst by 55% was 45%. So, so that's actually pretty good. Like, that's pretty good news. And you might be thinking, well, what's going on here? They're giving us some damage. What's going on? Well, the next few kind of explains why, and the developer notes also explain why. But the other changes, which are kind of a nerf, and not kind of, they are a nerf. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They are a nerf. Skybreaker Demise, I'll skip that word, now increases the critical strike chance of Flame Shock by 25%, was 50%. And Fire Elemental now causes Flame Shock to deal damage only 15% faster, was 33. And the developer note says, we're adjusting Elemental Shaman damage away from Flame Shock and into instant cast damage spells to improve the spec's finishing power, which has been lacking, and that it has. And that, I think, summarizes why you're seeing these adjustments. Overall, Elemental Shamans, like, they're doing okay, but the problem is that if you look at the damage breakdown at the end of the match, it's all Flame Shock damage and also pet damage. And I think they're going to make you switch away from that. I think they want you to not take Skybreakers. I think they want you to take Wind Speakers. Not Wind Speakers. Oh my goodness. They want you to take the other talent that increases your Lava Burst damage on Earthshock, and that's kind of the direction that they're going. They want you to take that talent, which is going to amplify your Lava Burst, as well as increasing Lava Burst, make you use your Lightning Bolts. And then also with Volcanic Surge, I still just don't know if that's viable. Control of Lava never was really good. There was very few situations it was actually useful. But I think that that's the direction that they're pushing you, is to use your casts, make it useful. Earthshock damages are already doing okay. It's just not earth-shattering, pun intended on that. So I hope overall this is going to be a buff and also a play style improvement. Right now, Elemental Shaman is kind of boring. I'm sorry that I'm saying this. I love playing Ellie, and it's actually been going pretty well, but it kind of feels boring when your casts aren't doing anything. I would have also loved to see things like buffing Ice Fury damage. I used to love it back in Legion when we're casting Ice Furies, and that cast itself was pumping, and then you also get the charged up Frost Shocks. We've seen people been using those, either cleaving Frost Shock damage into melee cleaves, or the amplifying of your Lava Burst damage, which is another option there. So overall, pretty excited about this. I'm going to be playing some Solo Shuffle Ellie games on stream, trying to get to the 2.4, which we will attain. Stat priority wise, build priority, nothing really changes. I think haste will still be the bee's knees, but it could switch over a little bit heavier to mastery because of your cast actually doing the damage, and it's not just rotting of the ticks, but usually haste versus always a play. But so that's it for Ellie. Overall, that's all goodish news. we'll get to the not great news for Ellie in a second. For Enhance, these changes are a little interesting. I've heard a lot about Enhancement Shamans one-tapping people, and they're like proccing damage is just pumping and just crushing people into the ground. I've seen it sometimes, but usually when I'm playing and I see an Enhanced Shaman, that is almost always the target because the rotation is complicated and it's just hard to understand, and people struggle with it, and I totally get it because it's not totally simple, but the best of the best, the Sauls out there are one-shotting people and one-tapping them. So what we're seeing here is Ascendant's immediate damage is decreased by 50. They don't want that pop that you get from that the proc to actually do that much damage or as much damage. 50% is a pretty big adjustment. Wind Strike, it now deals 25% additional damage in PvP, was 45. That's pretty sad. I think that's pretty sad that was nerfed like that, but okay. Storm Strike, damage is getting increased by 60% in PvP, was 45. Ice Strike damage increased. So I think overall what they want you to do is do more passive damage, it seems like, but not have that super Ascendance proc big banger. And that's what we're saying. We're evening out the rate at which Elemental Shamans deal damage as it's more reliant on instant procs. The problem I have with Enhance is that again, rotation is so complicated, and the spec is so complicated. There's so many buttons and keybinds that you need to be effective, and you have so much utility, which the utility is great, but I really wish that they would have that the damage, the passive damage kind of would just get increased. So it's a little bit easier for people to play. And there's, as we know, there's multiple builds that you can be playing. Doomwinds, which I feel like is just so easy to get countered for most players, is just, it's just tough. So I think Enhance overall, it seems like it's a nerf. Passive damage increase, so we'll see how it goes. It could be maybe a better state for Enhanced Shamans to go in. They didn't touch anything with Lava Lash. They didn't touch anything with Elemental Blast, so those are still options to take. Now, so I'm kind of like mixed bag with Enhanced, to be honest with you. But the weird thing I think that's happened that's not Shaman related but affects Shaman is things like this. If you've been on the stream, you've seen me I've been playing Fury Warrior to try to play a more simple melee to just see if it's possible. Like, does it feel easier, and is it actually easier to do well? And I will tell you, Fury Warrior has been a lot of fun, and it is simpler. I'm not saying that I'm not insulting it. I actually really have been enjoying my time with Fury Warrior, but I'm actually blown away that they are buffing Execute and Onslaught. The fact that they're buffing damage is just kind of surprising. I've heard a lot of stuff on Twitter that people are not happy that Avatar is getting nerfed, but looking at Blade Sword getting buffed, Mortal Strike getting buffed, like, it just seems like overall damage buff coming to Warriors. Also looks like Affliction is now getting some love. And let me just go back to Warrior. When Warrior is strong, it also helps Enhance, because that's the best comp for Enhance is Windwalker. Is Warrior Enhance. So that's good news for Enhance. Also for Ellie and Warrior is Thunder. That's pretty good. But going against Warriors is going to be tougher. Now, Ellie's also I think relatively good again against the Warlocks, especially with some of their new talents. So that's, so Affliction getting buffed, not really too worried about that. That should be okay. Other aspects of Warlock getting buffed. Demon Hunter was also buffed, I believe, which I think, yeah. So they were also being buffed a bit, which I think is also gonna, now we're saying, okay, wait, all the melee getting buffed? I wouldn't say all the melee is getting buffed, but Frost is getting some increases. So I think overall, that makes me a little bit nervous for Ellie side of things, getting run down by more melees. There has been a lot of casters in the current meta, but I'm a little bit nervous for Ellie for that. And Enhance, I'm just worried that Enhance is going to be able to keep up, but we'll have to see how it goes. But with that being said, that's it. I'll put, again, the link down below for this. We'll be talking about this on stream. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to try things out, test things out, especially with new builds, as the expansion's getting to the point where it's mostly going to be about doing PvP for fun, goofing around with different specs, having a good time, and also helping you guys. If you guys are looking for anything PvE, if you're looking for AOTC, if you're looking for Mythic Plus, KSM, or your plus 20 portals, come by the stream. Feel free to ask. Everyone's kind of chilling out, waiting for the next content patch, so we're always happy to help you, and the community is awesome. So with that being said, we'll see you in the next one. We're on stream every day, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Adios.